Boom! Eruption straight through the Tyranitar's face. We get the kill. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We're going to lead off with our Mew. We're not going to lead with the Typhlosion Choice Scarf because I think that because they have the Tyranitar. And speaking of which, this is actually RU. And are you surprised that Tyranitar is in RU? Absolutely wild times we live in. Nevertheless, we're going to see the Krookodile, see what we can do here. The Rotom, they're obviously expecting the Earthquake, which is hilarious because the close combat's going to give us a free kill. We do get a Moxie bump, but obviously we're just going to have to switch out, so that Moxie is just for some fun here. We're going to go for Typhlosion because we do double resist a first impression here. The Tyranitar is very problematic. We are running Focus Blast, but I don't want to like put ourselves in jeopardy, especially when we have a pretty good check here with the Copperajah. And we're going to be able to set up some spikes here, Stealth Rock rather, but nevertheless, I think we're going to be okay here. The Tyranitar is going to come back in. We could have gone for maybe like a heavy slam or something. That would have been probably lights out. Nevertheless, we do have our Altaria, and I'm going to set up some Will-O-Wisp here. We do run into a big problem here. We do get the critical hit, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. I do think this Tyranitar is choiced, so it is what it is, and they actually stay in. And this Krookodile is actually putting in a lot of work, but now they just gave up the whole match in my opinion, because now the Typhlosion is going to be able to just Choice Scarf everything. The Armor Cannon, we're not worried about that at all. Shadow Ball is going to put a hole through pretty much the entire team here. So they actually are heavy duty boots, which is fine. We get a critical on the Gyarados, which is beautiful. It doesn't matter. We know that they're heavy duty boots. We don't have to worry about a choice or anything like that. Iron Leaves is a psychic type, so unless, okay, so they do have the Quark Drive speed, so it is going to force us out of here. And they actually go for Swords Dance. Oh, this is actually kind of problematic here. I'm going to go for the Arcanine here. We're actually going to get Intimidate down. That at least helps us out a little bit. Our win condition here is actually just our Typhlosion, which works out just great. Psyblade, okay, so we do get the extreme speed chip damage here. The Mew, I don't think, ooh, okay, we're fine. The Mew is actually pretty bulky here, and we actually get the Psyshock with the critical hit. Even if we didn't, I still think we've probably been okay here. Armor Cannon's going to blow our hole through our little Elephant Steel friend here, but it's not a big deal because we have the Typhlosion. The Frisk is so key. I love the Frisk. It just adds a little bit of extra, like, pop to it. And now that we know that we're running the double resisted first impression is no match for our Typhlosion. And here we just click Shadow Ball for the win. Typhlosion putting in the work. Let's go, baby. Okay, I want to see if we can get some eruptions going with the Typhlosion. We are going to lead to our Copperajah. I don't want to run into a Focus Sash Azelf, so it is what it is. We are going to go ahead and use the Heavy Slam on it. I'm assuming they're going to go for the kill. I mean, I'm going to switch out into the Altaria just because we can have the Defog. I really like Altaria as the Defog user. Unfortunately, we don't have a target to Defog, so we are going to have these rocks up here. We should be faster than the Tyranitar, and we actually are not, but they do go for the Dragon Dance. Okay, that's actually kind of interesting. At least we get rid of the rocks, but we have to be very careful here, and they're going to double dance on us. That is not going to be a big deal because we do go for the Will-O-Wisp here, and their greed is going to end up costing them a little bit here. The Stone Edge is going to blow our Altaria out of the water, but that is okay. So as long as we can get rid of the Tyranitar, we can probably just go straight into our Typhlosion and just start using Eruptions, Shadow Balls, and all that good stuff here. So Zarina, that's interesting. I think we're just gonna go for Arcanine. I don't think they can really do too much here. The U-turn, yeah, the U-turn's really unfortunate, but it is to be expected. So Slowbro, I think how are we gonna play this out here? We're gonna like just test the waters here with a Wild Charge. It doesn't really work, but I think we can go into the Mew here now, and this is actually not very great. They actually switch into Tyranitar, which is a little bit, I don't know, because we've got to have the Nasty Plot. We are running Nasty Plot and Volt Switch at the same time, so this Mew is actually doing like two things at once. It's kind of doing like a Stall Breaker, Nasty Plot set, and it also has Tempo, so I don't know how I feel about it just yet, but it's actually been kind of okay. Nevertheless, we got a Krookodile here, the Zarina, and eventually these Earthquakes, I should probably just close combated, but I'm just kind of worried about the Oricoro, so that thing's flying. It is what it is. So let's go straight into our Typhlosion here. Low kick, we actually missed that, which is wonderful. The U-turn would have done nothing anyway, because we 4 times resist that stuff anyway. So Tyranitar, and at this point, this Eruption, boom, baby, Eruption. You gotta love, the Eruptions just feel so good. Boom, Eruption straight through the Tyranitar's face. We get the kill. All right, so Gardevoir got the Frisk. Now, okay, a Moonblast. So they have to be scarfed as well, because I'm scarfed. And if I'm not hitting you first, there's something wrong here. We do get that special attack drop, which really is unfortunate here. Oh, this is actually kind of Okay, so they do switch. I was going to say, that may have killed us. Nevertheless, they are not running Rocky Helmet, so our Copperajah is going to be able to set up Stealth Rocks here. It does go down, but we do set up Rocks, and I think that's going to be okay. Let's go for our Typhlosion, and they actually have a Culber Berry, which is not going to be a big deal. They let them take the Shadow Ball. That is pretty wild. I'm just going to go ahead and hit the Oricoro here, and they go for Quiver Dance, and guess what? The Hurricane misses. I wasn't too worried because we do have Arcanine packing extreme speed, so it's not going to matter too much. Gardevoir. So I know they have to be scarfed, and they just forfeit, Typhlosion, baby. Let's keep the Typhlosion eruptions going. We're going to lead out here. It really sucks that Tyranitar is just basically everywhere on every single team, and you can't really blame them because, I mean, Tyranitar being an RU is so wild. All right, so the Fortress, you know, Stone Edge, ooh, that actually does a lot less than I would have. I know Fortress has sky-high physical defense, but let's go for the Typhlosion. They're not going to be able to sturdy this Eruption, so let's go ahead and see what we can do here. And they tear it into water, and that actually still does a lot. So I actually went to Typhlosion and switched to Life Orb. I want to see if Life Orb's a little bit better here. Either way, we got the Altaria, and the Shadow Ball's not going to do too much here. I want to get rid of the Spike. I think Altaria makes for a really, really good Defog user, especially in RU. I don't really know what would be better. I mean, even like Rapid Spin, so it is what it is. And I like Defog because we're not using any sort of hazards on our own. I'm just kidding. We have Copperajah. I don't know why I said that. Either way, Tyranitar is going to come out. This seems to be a very common matchup that we're having here, but I'm happy to Will-O-Wisp every single time because even if they go for rocks, we're usually faster unless they're non-bulky, so I'm not really sure what they got going on here. We do end up missing the Stone Edge, which, I mean, even if we do take it, I guess it's not a big deal here. And now the Copperajah is just going to be able to just do whatever it wants. The Fortress having the Water Tera makes it a little bit awkward here, but they do take that Sandstorm damage, which actually could matter a lot. They are going to go for Rapid Spin, which is a kind of annoying, but the Earthquake is actually just looking to kill, and we're just looking pretty good here. That 6% on that Leftovers damage may have actually mattered. So Slitherwing here, they're going to go for Trailblaze, which is really interesting. I'm actually just going to go for Brave Bird here because, I mean, there's not a whole lot of upside in using Will-O-Wisp here. I just want to get the kill if they didn't switch out. They do. So I still think we're sitting kind of okay here. I mean, even if we did want to Roost, I think that would be a viable option here. And they're getting very unlucky with these Stone Edges. So I actually feel for them a little bit on that. And they do not any longer have their Fortress, so they do not have any sort of Stealth Rock protection. I saw the Heavy Slam here, and I thought may as well. Maybe I should have went for Rocks there. I think that may have been a mistake. Either way, I think the Krookodile, I think we're going to be okay here. We can just start. As soon as we get rid of the Slitherwing, these crunches is pretty much just going to be a game changer. I actually put the Scarf on Krookodile this time, and it was choice banded, so I'm switching up the team here a little bit. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. Nevertheless, the Slitherwing, they are going to go for Espeon, and Espeon is not very bulky, so I think these Brave Birds, I think it definitely can take one, but can it take two? No, it cannot. It's at 41%. It might have Dazzling Gleam. Ooh, it has Psychic, so Psychic is not going to be enough to put the Altaria away, and we're going to get this Espeon to go. It is 6-3 as we speak. This is actually going wonderfully. So Miss Magius, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It might not be. Either way, okay, so we're not going to be able to switch in there. Let's go for the Krookodile. We took some unnecessary damage there, but I was kind of worried about a mystical fire, and we actually learned that Miss Magius is actually scarfed here. So that actually gives us a lot of leeway here. The Shadow Ball, ooh, we actually do take a crit, but the Flare Blitz should just blow this out of the water. That thing is a glass cannon if I've ever seen one. And they are actually, we actually die from, okay. Nevertheless, it's going to be okay here. First impression, again, we 4 times resist that Typhlosion. We drop an Eruption. We drop an Eruption on their butt. Let's go. And the Hoopa, is it going to be able to take it? No, it's not. The Shadow Ball, they are not scarfed. Typhlosion for the win again.